Hello, Com 1700 students, and welcome to the Chapter 8 worksheet instructions. As always, please watch this video in its entirety and take good notes so that you'll be sure to meet all of the assignment requirements. Recall that this chapter is about how relationships come together. So, how do we identify someone who's a potential friend or a romantic interest? What draws us to that person? How do we weigh the pros and cons of a relationship in our minds? Why would we approach or withdraw or recoil from a particular person who might be offering us a relationship? So consider those things as you read the chapter, and then the worksheet I'm asking you to prepare will be about two of the theories in the chapter. The first is attraction theory. So I'm going to ask you to review attraction theory, pay careful attention to it, and especially look at the 4 factors that tend to attract us to someone. And again, we can be attracted to them as a potential friend or as a potential romantic interest. The second part of the exercise, I'm going to ask you to review predicted outcome value theory in this chapter of the text. This theory has to do with how we weigh the pros and cons of entering into a relationship with this person we're attracted to. What do we expect might happen, and what do we base those expectations on? So those are the 2 topics in the chapter that I'm going to ask you to write about in this particular worksheet, and I'll give you further details coming up. Let's start with attraction theory. After you review the section of the textbook about attraction theory, you'll be more familiar with the 4 different factors that tend to attract us to another person, make us want to approach them for a relationship. And that could be a friendship or a romantic relationship. What draws us to other people? This section of the text suggests that there are 4 different factors where one or more or all of them in combination might prompt us to make a move toward another person. So what I'd like you to do is think of a close friendship or romantic relationship that you have or have had in the past, and pick at least 2 of those attraction factors and explain how those drew you to that other person. Next, I'd like you to review predicted outcome value theory in the text. Now, this is a theory that explains how we weigh the pros and cons of entering into a deeper relationship with somebody. So let's say you're already attracted to somebody. What is the thought process that you go through in deciding whether or not to pursue a more serious relationship with that person? How do you weigh the positives and negatives of possibly connecting on a deeper level with that person? And as with the last example, I'd like you to explain how this theory has come into play for you yourself in the past, how you decided to pursue a relationship with someone or to step away from someone based on this cost-benefit analysis that we do in our minds. So here's the summary of the assignment. First, you're going to look at attraction theory, the 4 different factors of attraction. Pick 2 of them and explain how those have worked in your own life. Secondly, look at predicted outcome value theory, which explains how we weigh the pros and cons of getting into a relationship with somebody, how we decide whether to approach or avoid, what is the thought process we go through, and give me an example of how that has played out in your own relationship life. As usual, type up your responses in a Word document, save that to your computer, and submit it by uploading it to the proper Dropbox on eLearning. Please do not send these to me as email attachments, but do email me if you have a question about the assignment. I'll talk to you again very soon. Have a great week. Bye-bye.